How are we doing, guys? ALTV, Fulham 2, Leeds 1, match review of the game. It's disappointing, isn't it, guys? Let's not make any bones about it. It's disappointing. It's never nice to lose, but in the context of things, I'm still very much in a very similar mindset to what I was after Cardiff. I'm not really panicking at this stage. Obviously, I think throughout the season, even when we're on the 7-game winning run, there's things to improve then. There's still things to improve now. I don't think it's a lot changed. I know the results, obviously, the last 2 have not been great. Obviously, 1 point from 6 isn't ideal, but I don't see this as a big slump at the minute. For the time being, I don't see it as a big slump. I see it more as a blip than anything, because I don't think yesterday we did a lot wrong. To be honest with you, I don't think we did a lot wrong yesterday. It was by no means a top-class performance. It was absolutely a million miles away from that, but I don't think it was a poor performance either. Okay. We had poor spells in the game. We had spells where we didn't look like we could pass a ball, but I look at it as the game as a whole. We created 3 or 4 clear-cut chances. I think Stuart Dallas had a couple. Obviously, Patrick Bamford scored from the only chance he had in the game, and then we had the big one late on in the game, which is an absolutely unbelievable goal line clearance off Alexander Mitrovic. And I'll be honest, it's not me being salty at all. I thought Fulham were poor yesterday, and that's maybe where more the disappointment comes from. That it was a game where I think a draw would have been a fairer reflection on it. I think you have to give Fulham credit in some elements that they disrupted our rhythm. They pressed us really well. They're not really known for their off the ball tenacity as such, but they showed that yesterday. They did show that side to their game, and that's not been something you sort of associate so much with Fulham this season. You see it more as an on the ball side. I didn't see that yesterday. I saw Fulham as being very aggressive in the press and that lot, and they sort of unsettled us from time to time. But on the ball, I have to be honest, I didn't think Fulham looked that great considering the quality of play they have on the pitch. I thought we did a pretty decent job on Mitrovic. Yes, I know he scored a penalty, but it's a penalty. It's a penalty, it's not a penalty. But I thought we did a decent job on Mitrovic as a whole. I didn't feel Tom Kearney really massively affected the game either. So I think from that point of view we did quite well. We created a couple of chances ourselves, but at the end of the day we can't complain. We can't keep complaining. I know the penalties gone against us. A couple of different things have gone against us. Obviously Pablo coming off injured was a massive blow. But we can't complain too much. We can't start moaning. I'm not a big one for excuses. Yes, the penalty was an atrocious decision, goes far to say, but I'm not going to start complaining and saying that we've been a hard done to team. We've had some decisions that have gone against us this season, but at the end it all balances itself out. We're still in a good position, we're still in a good place. I'm not too focused on how many points clear we are of, etc, etc. I've not even looked, to be honest, today. I think it's probably down to 8 points after Sheffield Wednesday won. But it's not about that really. At this level, points drop so easily. It's all about ourselves now. It's all about ourselves. We've got 47 points from the first 23 games. We're actually a point behind what we were at this stage last season, but in a much better position than what we were this time last season. It just shows the league probably is of lesser quality at the top end. We'll win another 14 in the next 23 games. We're going to be roughly in and around that 90-point mark, and that's where we're going to need to be to finish in the top 2. So for me, that's all I'm focused on now. I'm not focused on the other teams. I certainly can't be bothered getting worked up and either happy or being sad when a team behind us drops points. There's no point. It's all about what we do now. All about what we do now. We've done a lot of the right things. Last 2 games, results haven't quite gone our way. But we can't start to sit here and complain about that. We can't sit here and complain about penalties going against us. We've got a tough game now against Preston. The only way to recover from it is bouncing back. If we bounce back against Preston, I think we're in a great position again. Guys, it's hard to get too downhearted because we're in a good position. I do keep saying it. I don't think we're playing to the standards we were last season on the ball, but I think off the ball we've improved a lot. You look at Fulham, the goals Fulham scored yesterday. One's from a penalty, it's not a penalty. The other's an absolutely outrageous strike from Josh Noma from outside the box. There's nothing we can do about that. It's a good initial block of Ben White. It's come back to him, and it's a good finish. It's a really, really good finish, and that's the way it goes. Sometimes you face a clinical team like Fulham who do the good right things off the ball. It's going to be a very, very difficult game, and we found that to our cost yesterday. It's not a massive reason to be too concerned. The only thing is can we recover from this now? Can we start putting together the performances we need to see off this team? We saw it against Cardiff. I think yes, we saw less of it yesterday. Real dominant performances in the middle of the park that we are capable of. It might seem overcritical. Yes, I know we're this many points clear, but we can still improve. There's no doubt about that for me. We can still improve. I think maybe the stats don't back up what I'm saying, but I'm literally purely using what I see on the pitch. That's all I'm using here for what I see on the pitch. I don't care what the stats say. For me, we are not playing to the standards we were last season on the ball. I don't think we created as many clear-cut chances. We're not scoring as many goals, I don't think, as we were at this stage of last season, and that's got to be disappointing. And yeah, there's still things to improve. It's been a fantastic start to the season, but there's still things we need to improve. We can't keep relying on the defence to bail us out. You know, I think sometimes we have done that, you know, a couple of times this season, and that's not to say being poor on the ball or anything like that. I just think it's clear that the strength of this team is defensively rather than the attacking elements of the game at the minute, and that's not really what you expect from Marcelo Bielsa's team. But we're still in a really good place. We just need to improve certain little bits. I'm certainly not panicking. It's just little tweaks we need to do, little tweaks for the team. You know, I think we definitely missed an Adam Forshaw, Tyler Roberts type player in the middle of the park to control games a little bit more. We haven't sort of played very much makeshift players in those kind of positions. Obviously, Pablo is a winger. Pablo for me is a wide player. He's not a central player. And when we play Pablo there, we don't tend to see. We saw the best of him against Cardiff, but in general, I don't think we see the best of him when he plays centrally. Stuart Dallas is certainly not a central player. That's nothing against Stuart Dallas. I know the situation sort of said we had played Stuart Dallas there, but there's nothing really technically there that suggests Stuart Dallas can play in that position. Just my opinion. I think we've lost pretty much every game we tried to play Stuart Dallas in that position. I certainly want to see us change back to a back three. I think if Pablo's injured, it provides a perfect opportunity. You know, you can go with that back three of Ayling, White, Cooper. You know, a back three that served us so well this season. Stuart Dallas right wing back, Alioski left wing back, Phillips and Click as the central midfielders, and then Costa, Bamford, Harrison head of them. You know, I think yesterday as well, you saw that substitution when Eddie Nketiah came on for the second half. It worked initially, but I think as the game went on, it kind of left too many spaces. You know, sort of in between the lines between the midfield and the attack, there was too much space. You know, Bamford can play in that 10 role. He shows certain elements of his game that really do suit that 10 role, but I think he's more of a forward now for me. He's more of a central forward, and that sort of left the space. It almost became a 4-4-2 at times. I think it was, the intention was sort of a 4-2-3-1, Bamford as a number 10, but it did sort of change itself into a 4-4-2 purely because of how high Bamford was pushing up the pitch. Nothing against Bamford, I just thought it was a test worth trying. It looked good initially, but I think as the game went on, we didn't have enough control in the game to sort of make that happen. You know, certainly I felt when Costa came off, I think we felt it a little bit. You know, I'm not saying Costa had a good game by any stretch of the imagination, but we didn't really have that player with any sort of anything different to the rest of the team. You know, could provide that extra spark to the team. I felt we did miss that a little bit. Guys, to be honest, I'm a little bit under the weather here doing this review, so it might seem a little bit low key. But I'm battling through it. But yeah, it's just frustrating at the minute, guys. That's more than anything. You know, we're still in a really good position. Still got to keep, you know, belief in what we're doing. You know, we have to keep belief in what we're doing. I just feel that we need to stop relying on the defence so much. We need to do more on the ball now. We need to be more consistent on the ball. You know, I think we've been super clinical, you know, in general since the improvement in form since the Millwall game. But certain elements just want to see a little bit more consistency from our forward players. For me, that's something I do want to see a bit more of. But guys, yeah, we're still in a good place. We're still in a good place for me. We can't get too downhearted. Let's just kick on now. Let's kick on this second half of the season. There's that traditional collapse of Leeds in this sort of second half of the season, but this season, you know, I just feel, you know, we've got players to come back in. I don't feel as worried this season. I just think we can afford the odd slip up because I don't think the quality of the league is as good as it was last season. But there's still a long way to go, guys. There's still a lot to improve for me, and I hope we can improve on it. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. See you later, guys.